Hello everyone, I am Gautam from brand communications team, Mila. So let's wait for a couple of minutes for others to join, then we'll start the session.
Gautam, I think we can start.
Okay, yeah. So hello everyone, I am Gautam from brand communications team, Mila. I would like to thank you for taking your time to join us in this webinar. Before we start the meeting, may I request everyone to keep themselves muted throughout the session. You can drop your questions on the chat box and it will be answered towards the end of the session. Today we have Ms. Romila with us, co-founder of Bharat Deco. She will share her insights about her crowdfunding journey with Mila. We believe that this will help you to drive your crowdfunding campaign successfully. We welcome you, Romila. Thanks for accepting our invitation. We
Thank you.
also have our team members with us, Vishali, Chief of Staff, will be the spokesperson for today's webinar. If any questions on platforms or features, Vishali will answer those. We also have Mubin who will moderate the chat session and share those questions with speaker and spokesperson during question hour. Coming to the agenda of today's session, yeah, coming to the today's agenda of the session, we will open the floor for questions. It will be for 30 minutes, and once the interaction is done, we will open the floor for questions, which will be for 10 minutes. Okay, let's start the session. So, hi Romila.
Hi, Gautam. Thank you.
Can you listen to me, Romila?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, you're audible. You're very good.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much to the Milap team and Gautam for inviting me. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Tell me about yourself and your team, Romila.
Sure. So basically, I am Romila and I'm from Hyderabad. I stay. I'm from Hyderabad and I'm an engineer. I studied engineering in Jaipur, and then post that I've come to Hyderabad and I started working in education sector. So I was with an organization called Teach for India for 4 years, 2 years of teaching and 2 years of teacher training. Post which I have recently started this organization called Bharat Deko, around last year in March, like February, March, just before lockdown. So yeah, currently working with this organization. Um, Mainly, we are working on different projects. One of the project that we are focusing on is unemployment, and we are also doing a little bit research on what is the effect of COVID-19 on different people in the community. So basically, we are looking at teachers, since we all from Bharat Deko belong to teaching background. We are all looking at how it affected, how the COVID-19 has affected the teaching community right now, specifically teachers belonging to low budget private schools. So that's partly the work that we are doing right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's great to listen, Romila. So about your crowdfunding journey. So how did you guys thought of starting online crowdfunding campaign when you want to serve the society and when you want funds?
Right. So actually, we were when we were during the lockdown, when everything was closed and when everyone was at home and locked up. Many of the people, specifically the communities who have lost their jobs, have been suffering specifically for food and other basic necessities. So we have received a lot of calls from our own students where we taught during fellowship, during our own teaching days, and since most of the Bharat Dekho team members are teachers and alumni of Teach for India themselves, so we were receiving those calls and constantly getting distress calls from these people asking for food, asking for medicines and other stuff. So we, at that point of time, we started volunteering with organizations trying to connect the problem and the solution, where big organizations like Akshay Patra and other organizations have been donating food ration, and we were sort of helping that deliver to different places. In the process, what we realized that the number of requests have been increasing, and many of the calls that we were getting were on our own personal numbers, um, and uh, and since it's a huge number, huge need, we thought we'll do something about it. We'll raise funds. That's when we thought we'll raise funds, and uh, first we reached out to our own personal network asking for money, very informally, and then we realized that this is going to be a huge problem going forward, and we thought we'll create a fundraising platform to address this issue. That's when we and teach for most of the Teach for India fellows have used Milap crowdfunding platform, and we spoke to a couple of them. and we asked their opinion on what they felt about the platform, and many of them gave a positive feedback, said that it's very comfortable and not so complicated to use. So then we together we sat down and figured out um, like we took some inputs from one of our friends who's a very good writer, and we asked took her help and asked her to draft the story for our campaign. And we sat and then we figured out certain pictures for our campaign. And um, we started off, I think when we started off our crowdfunding campaign, the first campaign, our limit was because we were thinking only uh, for the next 1 month. For the 1 month, we wanted 1 lakh, approximately 1 lakh, 1,50,000 was our budget. And that's what we put as the goal. But later on, the number of requests have also increased, and we were also seeing that many people are responding to our campaign, and hence we have increased the goal, basically the budget also to a little bit more. And now, so we were able to raise around 3.6 lakhs by the end of 1 or 2 months of the fundraising. So yeah, that's how we started our journey for raising funds.
Yeah, that's very interesting to know that you guys wanted to address issues in society. So we have seen your campaign story. That's quite insightful, and you guys also included a few numbers. You guys did field work and included a few numbers, like why we need to do this campaign. So what is your like what is the process you went through in doing this research?
So basically, when we started thinking about the story, we thought that a very simple story will not just help attract people towards the page, because considering that people spend very less time on looking at each page, um, we thought we'll also put some information, some data, and some stories. So we thought if it's a balance of both, then people will be more interested to see. So uh, so wherever we went, since we were also volunteering simultaneously with other organizations, they captured a lot of information themselves wherever the delivery was happening. So we requested them as well about how far spread is the need, and we took the help of these organizations, got the information, and we ourselves were tracking the data on an Excel sheet on how much is the budget that we have got, and how much is being spent, and what is the actual need that we are spending it on, just to keep a track for ourselves. So in fact, we put that link also in our story. If someone wants to look at how the money is being spent, there is a link for that as well that we have inserted in our story. So yeah, so this actually helped us get a lot of credibility for our campaign, and it built that trust, and it built that popularity sort of during that time when we were doing the fundraising. Yeah.
Okay, that's great, Romila. So once the campaign was set up, so what did you do? Like once the campaign is created, so what are your thoughts at that point of time, and what did you do with the link?
Okay. 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 So once we have set up once the campaign is live, we we thought of a couple of strategies on how to spread the word. So one is definitely we have spread in our very close circles. Since Teach for India has a huge network, it's a big community, we ensured that we spread it across cities. So it's there in 7 cities. So we ensured that the link has gone along with the message in all the alumni groups, WhatsApp groups. Um, Along with the WhatsApp messages, we also uploaded our campaign link on our Facebook pages, on our respective profiles as well. So with respect to social media, these were certain things. We also use the WhatsApp status, the Facebook story option that we have on Facebook, and put it there wherever possible. Instagram, Twitter. So we have used multiple social networking pages. We ensured that there is a constant communication that is happening, in the sense, once we shared it today, probably after 3 days or 2 days, somebody is sharing it. So somebody in our own network is sharing it. So there's a constant share and reshare that we were doing it in the social media networks. Another interesting thing that we have done is basically we, after we took, we withdrew the funds from Milab and used the funds, whenever we delivered the ration on ground in any labor camp or in any of the houses, then we captured and collected their stories. So we collected the stories in 2 different forms. One is through videos, wherever the labor is comfortable, and or through a written form. So we have started an initiative called as Stories of Truth. I'll show the Facebook page for the same in some time. So the Stories of Truth is an initiative where we have been capturing the stories from the ground and putting it on the Facebook profile page with the hashtag Stories of Truth. So we used that hashtag Stories of Truth as our branding for both to build the credibility of the work, and also to ensure that our campaign is shared and people will look at our campaign and people will donate. So this specifically, this strategy has helped us a lot, because I think by the time when we were at story number 10 or 11, there were almost 20 to 30 shares of our campaign link, and also the stories that we were posting it. So I'll probably take just 1 or 2 minutes to share my screen and show how it looked like.
Okay, Romila, you can do that. You can share your screen.
So, yeah, just 1 second. So can you see my screen, my Facebook page?
Yes, we can see, Romila.
Yeah. So basically, this is the basically we posted our stories all on my own personal profile, and all the team members like Abhijit. So whenever I posted a story, I used to tag all the Bharat Dekho members, Abhijit and Asra and Sumant and Rohit. These are all our members of Bharat Dekho, core members. And whenever I tagged them, they used to share. Once I tagged them, they used to share it on their own profile page. So these are certain stories and with pictures that we have shared, and we on what all happened, how we met different people, and what are the kind of services, how we also arranged transport for migrant labor here. So all these things we captured in the form of different stories. Here we have captured in the form of videos and pictures, and now actually we have a proper Facebook page which is in the name of Bharat Dekho, where we are using our hashtags and publishing our stories. So this has actually helped us get a lot of traction. Like you can see here, this is our this page that we are using. This picture is our campaign cover page. Yeah, like this is the stories of truth, story number 8. And if you can see, we have written the entire story, not more than 300-400 words. And then here we have started including our campaign link as well, if you can see here. So so we had started getting increased, the number of shares have started increasing by almost 10 to 15 people at least started sharing, depending on the story as well, on what we are writing and how engagingly we are writing. So this is one strategy that helped us sort of gain a lot of traction for our link. And also another thing that we have also done is, let me just quickly share again. So in our website, which is Bharat Dekho's website, we have a separate tab for Milab. This we have included for our second campaign, not for the first campaign, because what we have observed is a lot of people, once we are sharing our campaign, are going to our website. So we thought we'll also put it here, in the sense people are looking at our in our messages, they are going and looking at our website. So we thought we'll include our campaign link here as well. So when I click on Milab, it will indirectly go to our campaign. So this is something that is helping us sort of get more visibility, get more people notice our work and get help. Uh, so the third thing that we were doing along with stories of truth, so the third thing that we were doing, other than sharing in our own nets and stories of truth, we were also Gautam, with the help of Gautam and Milab team, we could get a couple of connections for newspapers, and we ensured that our story got published in the newspaper and our work got published in the newspaper. So the print media reach also helped. People who never knew, who are not even in our nearest or any of our circles, have reached out to us personally, looking at our stories of truth and Facebook pages and other things, and they reached out and donated on the campaign after the story is covered on the print media as well. So yeah, these are certain things that we sort of helped us in getting more traction and funds.
Yes, that's great to listen to, Bila. Using social media, Facebook, hashtags in a creative way, for sure help your campaign to gain credibility for your campaign. And did you face any kind of challenges when you are reaching out to different set of people within your network?
Um, yeah, when we started, because it was our first fundraising campaign, um, when we started, we didn't understand how to go about it, in the sense, other than sharing in our own personal networks, we didn't know what else could we do. So for the first 1 week to 10 days, we had a lot of struggle in understanding how how to go about it. So at that point of time, then we sat together, sort of brainstormed a couple of ideas, which I just shared. And another thing that we actively did, so basically all four of us had a certain reservation to ask people directly. So we thought that we will, what we did is we created a list of potential donors, in the sense we identified certain people who who are willing to, who are people who love to donate, or people who are interested in social causes, and people who have the capacity to donate, both. So we created a list of such people, and we divided among ourselves to sort of reach out to them and overcome this personal reservation. And because since we are also showing our work on ground, we are we thought we'll get over this fear or sort of shyness that we had. So we, once we created that list of people, we went ahead and started asking them personally. So we sent a personalized messages for sharing the campaign link. We asked to donate for people who we identified as potential donors, and that itself has built another level of um, you know the some kind of credibility and trust again. um, Other than that, I think not much difficulties. This was one difficulty that we had faced, and we were able to resolve it over time.
Yeah, as you said, yeah, it's very important to reach out to a network with some good strategy. So that's very interesting to know. So when you're reaching out to your personalized networks, so did you face any kind of resistance, or did anyone give you suggestions about how to promote your campaign? Uh, uh, like any kind of inputs you can give on this?
Um, so we sort of didn't receive any kind of resistance, um, but many a times uh, there was initially, as I said, there was not much response um, when we started asking, because we felt like even though people know us, they still are hesitant in terms of spending or donating money unless they know what is exactly happening with that money. So something that we actively did was by definitely writing about stories of truth and everything. I think once we started stories of truth, we have gained a lot of traction, gained a lot of credibility. And even in our own Mila page, we have this update section, right, where we have constantly ensured that we updated whatever, either if it's a bill that we have received from our donation or contribution at a ration shop, or even if it's a like a photograph of ration by a particular group of people. So we ensure that we uploaded them regularly, and we did that very consistently. At least one update for sure was to go out on 1 week, for sure. So we those updates has ensured that even the people who donated previously tap into their own networks and ask other people to donate. So there was this one person who told us that they had a lot of friends who already donated and said that he had a lot of friends in US, and he reached out to his friends in US and asked, became a champion of our cause and sort of donated because he liked the updates that we had sent. So yeah, I can show that as well. Just quickly, let me share and. So this is our first campaign. So we have in our update section, this is our story, and so the specific pictures that we have used in our story is from the work that we were doing on field, and then this is our update. I think let me go to the last and start from there. So we posted 8 updates. So we ensured that we wrote for everything, like even if it's a thank you note for our donors, and we wrote that and how we have used that money. So here we have used certain amount of money for admitting a migrant labor child in a hospital. So we wrote about this as an update, and then we have updated why we have increased the goal, the fundraising goal, which was initially 1 lakh or 1,50,000. We increased it to 2 lakh because we have witnessed a lot of migrant labor and who are in need of basic supplies at a particular area in Hyderabad. And then these are certain pictures from our distribution. And this is a link to one of our reports, basically a research report that we have created from the work that we have done. So I included that as well for people to see. And then certain update on helping cyclone affected people in Orissa and Bengal. And this is one of our listings from one of our print media publications that we had in Pioneer. So this is another update. So all our print media updates are here, and bills, and how our volunteers have supported in distribution. So I think people actually received our updates in a very positive way because we were actively involved in giving very little things also as updates. So I think that built that connection with the donors is what I feel. So this is something that has helped us in many ways. Yeah.
Okay, that's great, Romila. So you have given around 8 updates. You have regularly updated your donors about what kind of work you guys are doing. Like it doesn't matter whether it's a small update or whether it's a big update. So informing donors also about like what we are doing with their funds is quite important to build some kind of trust and credibility. That's very quite like interesting on that part. And other than the updates part, did you use any kind of other features? In Mila user dashboard, like it offers multiple tools and recommendations for you to promote the campaign. Right, not only update is quite very important. Other
Right.
than that particular feature, did you use any other feature? Did you leverage on any other tools or features on the dashboard offered by us?
Yeah. So so basically in the first in the whatever we have understood or whatever we have learned through the first campaign, we have another campaign right now that is going on, which is very similar to the first campaign, the same cause, but just the section of the community is different. So right now we are working on teachers, teaching community, and so what we have also like um, like what we strategized is we'll increase the number of people who will share the campaign. So we thought we'll create a group of a network of volunteers, a network of champions who will advocate about our cause. So we have around some 20 to 20, 24, I think it's around 24 right now. So 24 people who will, each of these 24 volunteers who are advocating for our cause, we have asked them, we have fixed a goal for each of them, saying that if each person will raise 5,000, then we'll be able to get somewhere around 1 lakh, 1,15,000. So all of them have taken up that challenge, so that we are using that feature, the support campaign feature, basically, to increase our reach and increase our the sharing of the campaign, and it's easier if multiple people take up the opportunity to fundraise, then it will become easier for a cause. If only 2 or 3 people take the burden, then we have seen that it's even more stressful work. So I think this is one feature that we are currently using, and we have seen a couple of our volunteers raise funds, and they have even reached beyond their goal. So yeah, I think this is another feature that we have been using right now, currently in our current campaign.
Okay, that's very great to listen. Support campaign features is one of the key features on our campaign pages. It will enable anyone whom you know, like they can just start the campaign and raise funds on your behalf. Yeah, that's one of the key features. So this is your second campaign. What you are speaking about, you used a support campaign raise funds feature for the second campaign. So after first
Right.
campaign, so when you're doing the second campaign, like did you feel ease, or like how was your first time campaign experience to do the second campaign? Like what all are useful for that?
I think definitely it helped us understand, how what kind of information does a donor want to look at, and 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 this time when we created it in our story also in a much more professional way, in the sense we included like a problem statement, and we included our goals, aim, and like are we raising this much amount of money. And from our previous experiences also, what we have learned is including a lot of our other links, where other wherever our YouTube videos are there, wherever our stories of truth is documented, we included those as well here in the new campaign. And um, and definitely the update that we have done, I think that's one of the key learnings, because uh, before I never sort of knew that update feature. Actually, I thought initially, I used to think that update feature is only visible for people who visit the page, but realize that it's also it's an information that goes even for all the donors who have donated previously. That's very interesting, and I thought I'll actively use now as well. So I've also been updating everything that we have done so far. So, and that has been helping us, like with the recent update that we have done in our second campaign. We within 1 week we were able to raise around 10,000 just because of one update. So I think this has been sort of helping. This learning from the previous experience has sort of been very useful for us.
Okay, yeah, that's great to listen, Romila. So you have also spoke about targeted messaging to different group, like customized targeted messaging to different group. Can you speak
Yeah.
something on that?
Yes. Yes. I can actually sort of I have a couple of messages probably I can show. Just a second. share my screen. So we had a person called, you can see my WhatsApp screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So there's this one person who has been one of our potential donors. And so what we have done is, whenever we have done, whenever she has donated to us, and we had personally sent her pictures, and we have personally sent like, so she sent us around 15,000 rupees, and we sent her pictures and then bills also to her here. So this also this so this has helped us. Again, we received a lot of encouragement from her side as well, and we also asked her to share our campaign link with her here. So she has been one of our active champion for us. So we whenever a person has donated actively, we immediately, and we knew that this is the person who has actually donated, uh, we immediately sent them a message along with either a thank you note, or after post how we used, however way we use the money, we send them the pictures, we send them um, the bills, and said that this is what happened exactly, and they actually really loved those updates and encouraged us a lot. So this is another thing, another strategy definitely that can help people who are starting fundraising for the first time, specifically to understand how to go about it. This is one strategy that can surely help. So yeah.
That's good to listen, Romilas. Yeah, so yeah, raising, starting a campaign is quite crucial. Using our first network, second network, extended network is quite important. So this will help us raise funds. So yeah, once the funds are raised, so withdrawing funds is crucial during any crowdfunding process, right? So, can you share your experience about withdrawing funds from our platform?
So so basically, whenever we had to withdraw, it was not a very difficult
कि
process.
क्या हुआ है कि 2 से 4 घंटा लग जाता है कभी कभी।
So yeah. So basically, whenever we had to withdraw, it was not a very difficult process because the procedure is very simple in the sense we had to upload either a bill or any sort of document as proof for whatever funds we have used or required. So we whatever updates, whatever bills that we have updated on our update section, also I've updated on for withdrawal as well, and um, and most of the times we had received within 1 or 2 days, except one time when there was a problem on how the picture was taken, and picture was not clear, or the visibility of the name was sort of not so clear. I think that because of that, a delay had happened. But otherwise, every time we were able to sort of receive the transaction on time, within 1 or 2 days after. And I've been with regard to this, I've mostly been in touch. If any difficulty comes, I've been in touch with the campaign manager who was allocated at that point of time. So regular update was also coming on WhatsApp. So yeah, not a difficult process actually.
Okay, yeah, that's good to listen, Romila. And finally, this will be the last question for you. So, can you share a few tips for the individuals and organizations who are doing crowdfunding for the first time, or for all the attendees? Like few tips.
Sure, sure, definitely. So I think mainly four important things is something that I would like to talk about. One is it's important to because if any of you have that resistance to ask or raise funds, because raising funds is basically asking people to give to your cause because you believe passionately about your cause and you want people to also believe, then I think it's important to get rid of that resistance and that shyness that one can have, and because fundraising requires popularity, and that only comes when one overcomes that fear or that resistance. So that's something that I've learned because I was also a very reserved sort of a person in asking for funds, and that's one thing. And another thing is consistency in communication, which I already showed in terms of updating the campaign uh, and posting it on and on through different people on their own Facebook pages. Just that visibility so that people, even if they miss for once, will not miss for the second or the third or the fourth time. And they'll definitely look into it because of the number of times you communicated about it. Um, and other thing is just mainly identifying who are the people who are socially oriented and who have the capacity to donate. So see if one you can reach out to them personally and talk and get them on board about your campaign. And and the fourth one is just spreading the message as much as possible. That is a given strategy for any fundraising crowdfunding platform. So yeah, I think these four things are, I feel, very important for a first timer specifically.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'm very sure that these insights are very useful for the attendees and for everyone who want to start the campaign for the first time. So thank you so much, Romila, for sharing your experiences about starting the first crowdfunding campaign with Milap. I'm very sure this session is insightful to everyone who have attended. Thank you so much. So now I request everyone to ask questions if you have any. You can type those questions in the chat box, and we will coordinate the question answer session. So if you have any kind of questions as a first timer, if you have any questions, if you have any questions about the platform, if you have any questions about the features of the platform, you can just leave the questions in the chat box so we can ask, we can answer those questions. You can type the questions in the chat box. If you have any kind of question, you can just ask. We will try to address the question.
Great. Looks like, Romila, you pretty much have covered all the points that could have anyone could have possibly had about anything that they would wanted to actually do while starting the fundraiser. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing and taking the time of your schedule today to share all your insights with us. Um, and yes, for everyone who took the time out this afternoon, thank you so much. We will summarize the highlights of this webinar and share it with you guys. If you are interested in reaching out to Romila, please write to us and we'll be more than happy to connect. Any relevant questions that probably, she as a campaign organizer can probably share with you guys, will be more than happy to facilitate that. But yes, we will make sure that we collate the complete highlights of this webinar and share it with you all. Okay, I do see a couple of bits coming in. Can you have PPT or material that you can share on this topic? Yes, absolutely. Like I said, we will collate all the highlights of this webinar and share it with you guys on an email. We have received your email. I mean, we have your email IDs with us, so we'll share it via that. Someone had reached out to me directly saying what type of cause mostly people donate to. Absolutely anything under the sun. There is definitely no specific cause that is preferred one over the other. I think it's all the matter of you choosing to narrate your story and why you feel a particular cause is absolutely important to you and requires everyone's attention. I think if you're able to communicate that and establish that in your story or in your narrative, I think people would more than willing to come and donate. Sadiq's asking, for any cause, if you don't get the required donation in a relevant time, what do you do? Um, I think Romila touched upon on that. I think initially when she started out, there was a period where there was not much contributions coming in via the efforts that she was putting in. Like, I think it's important, just like anything else that we do in life, course correct and try different things, and then sort of explore a couple of other ways of reaching out to people. What Milab can do in this case is that you will have a designated campaign manager assigned to your campaign. So you can always sort of reach out to them and seek for any inputs that probably you and them can sort of brainstorm together and make recommendations. Should you face a situation that you've not raised the sufficient amount on the platform in your given period of time. Outside of that, there is also the ability for you to extend your campaign, where it doesn't, if there is not a hard mandate to close your campaign at the end of 30 days, you can always extend it by a couple of weeks or a month, just so that you're able to streamline your efforts and strategize accordingly. 12A is necessary for the donation. So the platform is structured in a way where you can fundraise on the platform either as an individual or either as an organization. And while you're fundraising as an organization, 12A is not mandatory. What is definitely mandatory is that you have a PAN card of the organization. And the other document, and of course, if you're looking to fundraise for foreign funds, then you should have an FCRA certificate. But outside of that, 12A is not mandatory to actually start the campaign on the platform. Absolutely. Seema, you can definitely, I think we will share the coordinates at the end of these webinar with you. Please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to connect to your campaign manager and start the campaign all over again. That's that's something that we can definitely do. Sadhna asks, how do you identify potential targets, the beneficiaries who are in need of funds apart from the distress call? Romila, would you want to answer that?
Yeah, I actually want to understand the question in the sense, how do you identify who you want to help? Is what you're asking? Sadhana, if you can come off mute and share your question. How do you identify? Okay.
Hi. Hi. Yes. So that was the question actually. Like, how do you identify the people who require the funds, apart from the calls that you receive for the funding itself?
Okay. Okay. So basically through calls only. There is no other way that we have. Since we have been tied up with multiple organizations, either organizations gave us certain of their own calls that they received, distress calls, and asked us, since they were already addressing other huge chunk of issues, they gave us that. And or we have, all of us have, all of the team members have been receiving calls directly, and we created them an Excel sheet where we noted down the request, and one by one we were sort of addressing. So these were the only two ways
Okay.
we were doing it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Romila. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, okay, welcome.
There's someone who's asking, Milap's fundraising is not linked to Insta. Is it available only in WhatsApp and Facebook? No, that's not true. So once you sort of sign up on the platform and you have set up a campaign of your own, you will have access to a page which will have all the tools across all the social media platforms and the relevant tools that you can use to promote your campaign on those platforms. I hope that answers your question. What is the level of verification for a cause? I'm glad you asked that. So we do have a team in place, which is called the Trust and Verification Team, and we also have a campaign reviews team. Can I request everyone to mute themselves? Thank you. Yes. So yeah, we do have a trust and verifications team, and we also have a campaign reviews team whose job is to day in and day out review all the campaign requests that come on the platform. It's a mix of a little bit of tech algorithm that we put in place along with human intervention to vet the cause that is being requested on the platform. And should we feel that the cause is not in line with or is not able to prove authenticity based on the information provided, then we do reach out to you asking for more information. And in case there is a reason of you unable to furnish that, then the campaign is then rejected. But more often than not, we try and understand what is the information that we would need to verify this cause. We communicate it to you, and should you provide it, then the campaign gets verified.
Romila ji, I am Krishna Kumar. Romila ji, I am Krishna Kumar.
Yes, sir.
We are running a school for
Hello, sir.
mentally
Yeah,
challenged.
tell me.
We are running a school for mentally challenged.
Okay.
Okay. And since 1987, the oldest NGO of Telangana area.
Okay.
Okay, madam.
Sure.
So what happened,
Sure.
madam, from 1918, since 2018,
Okay.
the government of India has made a restriction on funding to the above 18 age group of mentally retarded children. There is no funding for above 18 children. Either the teacher gets or the mentally challenged children gets, persons gets. So like that way, most of the schools have been closed. We are also on the edge of the closure. So what to do to get funds from the Milap? I had been to USA during 2016. During 2016, I was introduced to Milap by one of the friend in North Carolina, in Charlotte. My son stays back there. How to get why? Because these are the very worst sufferers of the society. Mentally challenged persons, they are the very.
Krishna Kumar, sir, we understand the pain in terms of that the challenges you're facing in terms of your fundraising for the school. What I would recommend, and of course, I do understand you have certain questions around how to go about fundraising. What we would like to do is, since you would like to also explain to us in detail, we can probably connect you to Romila offline, and we can have a detailed discussion where you can walk us through your history and your current challenges. And of course, Milap and Romila, given her experience with the platform, can probably share anything that might be relevant to your cause. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I think we seem to have answered most. Yes, I think we seem to have answered most of the questions here. Again, thank you so much, guys, our time is also up. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Romila, thank you once again for sharing these wonderful insights with us. Hope you continue to like the platform and it helps you do the fantastic cause that you're supporting and doing on ground. And for everyone else, thank you so much for taking the time out this afternoon and joining us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.